G'day guys, Jono here from J&A Down Under. Today we're going to take the truck for a run on the freeway so you can see how it handles on the freeway, and we get asked a lot of questions. Does it do 100 kilometers an hour? Does it slow down for hills? How comfortable it is? So what we're going to do is we're going to take it for a run on the highway. We're going to answer all those questions for you. We're going to take it for a run around town through a few roundabouts and etc, so you can just see how we get it around town and how easy it is to manage. We're also going to take it on some corrugated, some dirt roads, just so you can see how it performs off the road, off-road as well, just to see how comfortable the ride is, because you know often we get comments, yeah, oh, no good having a truck, you need a kidney belt. So we'll find out today if any of that's true and exactly how well these trucks perform on the road, off the road, highway, round town, etc. Anyway guys, come with us, let's see how we go. So we're just going to come up now to going onto the freeway, or onto the highway, the Pacific Highway. So just coming through a place called Raymond Terrace. So go around the roundabout and come to a complete stop here at the roundabout, because we do get asked a lot of questions. How fast is the truck? How long does it do 100 kilometers an hour? And all that sort of caper. So here we'll show you today just what it can do on the freeway, I guess, and just how quick it goes and how comfortable it is as well. So they just pulled out of the roundabout there. I'm in fourth gear, so going up, we just hit the 110 zone there now. We usually change to about 2,500 RPMs in the truck. We're doing 80 odd Ks now. It's a bit of a hill though that we're going up to get out. I'll also show the dash cam, or the front dash footage for it as well. So there we are, we're in 5th gear now, doing 100 kilometers an hour, easy. The truck's got a lot more to go. We don't go over 100k in this because of the bigger tyres, and also it's a truck, so legally you can't go over the 100 kilometres an hour in New South Wales. So there you go, we're sitting easily on the 100k's. This is a tar-sealed road, so you can see it's fairly comfortable. So by driving over, like, we're as comfortable as any car here at the moment. So what we'll do is later on today we're going to hit some dirt roads, about 15k on the dirt. So we'll see how the truck performs on the dirt roads. And I'm not sure what condition the road will be in. Hopefully it's fairly heavily corrugated, so you can have a look and just see how good the parabolic springs and the suspension seats are. Anyway, so here we go, 100 kilometres an hour. When we come to a couple of hills there later on today, we'll put the camera back on. I'll show you how the truck pulls up those hills and just how well it goes. As you can see, we had no dramas, accelerating to 100. We're sitting on 100 now. We're sitting on 2,400 RPMs, doing 100k's. No dramas at all. Fairly quiet in the cab. Just keep in mind though, this cab has had the sound deadening put through it, so it is quite quiet. We can have a conversation, no dramas at all. So yeah, anyway, I might just keep the dash cam footage playing there for a while, so you can just have a little bit of a look at just how well it drives and handles on the freeway. Righto, so we're probably about an hour and a half up the road from where we were before. Still on the Pacific Highway, just coming through a town called Cel-Fi. The reason I thought I'd just put the camera back on here at Cel-Fi is because it's probably got one of the most steepest hills on the east coast, for those who are familiar with it, between Newcastle and Taree. Yeah, so it's a fairly steep pinch. We go through, hit on 80k's coming through town, which is what we're doing now, just a little bit under. Once we come out of the 80, it's sort of, you know, a couple hundred metres of flat, then we go up a fairly steep pinch. So we'll see how the Isuzu goes up the hill. How much power we've got, and yeah, to see how she goes, because the thing about this hill is it's fairly long as well as steep, so it sort of gives the truck a good test out as well. So just come out of the 80 zone now, we're heading up, so we're sitting at about 100k's there now. Also when you're going up the hill, it's got a bit of a round the left hand turn as we head up there as well, so we'll see how we go heading up the hill. sitting on 100, about a quarter of the way up the hill. The only thing we're sort of restricted by now is the traffic. So sort of now we've just hit the most steep part of the hill. I had to back off a bit because the car in front was he slowed down a little bit, but there you go. So we're sitting on around about 80 k's at the top of the hill. I was still in fifth gear too. I didn't have to drop back a gear, so probably would have done a little bit better if we didn't have to back off of that car, but around 80 k's. Another good thing about these trucks are too is the exhaust brakes. As we're coming back down the hill, I just have to drop my foot off the accelerator. I've got the exhaust brake on, and we're just sort of motoring on down there to just holding the speed. Actually, it's probably holding a little bit too well, so just kick it off there for a bit and allow it to come back on. So these trucks are really comfortable on the highway. Not only have we got the exhaust brake, which helps braking going down the hills, they've also got the cruise control in them. I tend not to use the cruise control a whole lot. I found on the cruise control it just seems to use up a little bit more fuel than what it ordinarily does, as if I'm motoring along normally. So we tend not to use the cruise control, but if it's a long flat bit of road, yeah, why not? So there we go. So there you go. That was a fairly steep pinch. As you can see, the comfort is still pretty good. We're on a bit of a concrete. Pacific Highway is now concrete, not tar, but still fairly comfortable. You can see I'm not bouncing around all that much, and yeah, certainly nothing to complain about. Certainly no need for any kidney belts or anything like that. I'm very happy with the comfort of the ride as well. Not too bad at all. Anyway, head on a little bit further on, and as we get a bit closer, we're actually heading into the Crowdy Bay National Park today. We'll be able to stop and we'll have a look when we get there. We'll take some footage of us going along the dirt road, so you can just see how comfortable it is on the dirt road, and just how well the truck handles there as well. The traffic on the road here at the moment, there's plenty of holiday makers there, because one of the first sunny weekends we've had in quite a while here down the east coast. It's been raining non-stop pretty well all year, so it's great to see the sun shine out, and it looks like everybody's taking advantage of it. So as you can see there, just by overtaking obviously this caravan, plenty of power to do anything. We can easily keep up with the traffic, no problems at all. So for those people that are continually ask, how are they? Are they sluggish? Are they slow? Can they do 100? They can do 100. They're as good as anything on the road. Drop back a little bit on hills, equivalent to any other diesel. But you got to remember too, if we weren't running at 6.5 tonne, if we were running at say 4 tonne, you probably find we would have been pulling the full dollar all the way up that hill. I come up there, that steep pinch there, Look the other week with the caravan on. Our caravan's 3.5 tonne, thereabouts, just a little bit under. And I think I was doing 70 k's when I got to the top of the hill, so it was only 10k difference pulling that full 3.5 tonne, which gives us a gross combination, I don't know, around 11 tonne or something, driving up there, so not too bad at all. Anyway, we'll keep motoring on, and when we get onto the dirt road, we'll have a look and see how it travels on the dirt. We just turned off the freeway. We're going to the Pacific Highway. Just going to head down into town here. Harrington. We're going to the Crowdy Bay National Park this way. I just thought I'd do some filming because this is a pretty crappy road, but it's still 100 kilometres an hour. We've got an L-plater in front of us, so we might be able to go full freight. We'll just see how we go. Yeah, so here we are, we're on the road, we're doing 90 kilometres an hour it is, but you can see it's got plenty of bends and turns in it, and again, even though we've got some potholes and stuff in it, we've got some pretty big corners which we just went round. The truck does it quite easily, it's not like you're working up a sweat or white knuckling the steering wheel or anything like that. It does it fairly well, fairly simple. No dramas at all. So we got a 65 right-hand bend here coming up. I'm still doing the 90, 65 being the recommended speed. So in the truck here, we've got the parabolic springs in it, 6.5 tonne. It's a recommended 65 corner. We did it at 90. it is still 90 kilometre speed limit, and you can see the truck didn't flinch, didn't bounce or anything, it's just doing its thing. So even on these second rate roads, highways if you like, or main roads, it's still high speeds. The old truck does it quite well, handles the road well. We do have a truck, we do have trucks as well, and this thing doesn't handle anything like it. It's more like a car than a truck, so it actually handles quite well. Yeah, pretty pleased with it. So yeah, 90k an hour road, we can do 90k the whole way, we can keep up with the traffic, not a problem at all. Even in the potholes, as it's been parabolic springs and having a suspension seat seems to take a lot up. So the drive on the road is really comfortable. As far as roads go, major roads, I'm not sure if the GoPro is going to pick up the potholes, but you can just see how bad this road really is for potholes and stuff. And again, sitting in the driver's seat here, quite comfortable, nothing really to worry about. Again, you're not white knuckling the wheel trying to keep it onto the road. It just doesn't sting and glides nicely. Got an obstacle up the front, got the L plater talking about earlier. See how he goes. We are still running highway pressures in my tyres too, so I think in the back, I haven't let them down from with the caravan the other week, so I think I've got 95 in the back and I think I've got 85 in the front, so the tyres are pretty hard, so they're not taking much of that cushioning out. It's most of this has been through the suspension. So if you travel a lot on these roads, you could easily drop another 5 or 6 pound out of them tyres, no dramas at all. Actually probably even drop 10 pound. I just like to keep them up high when I'm towing the van on the highway. It also prolongs the life of the tyres, being the mud tyres and whatnot. Just give on made a bit of space here. I don't think we get too many opportunities to go around it. So we're going to come into Harrington too. When we come into Harrington, I'll give you a bit of an opportunity to see how these things drive around town. There's quite a few roundabouts and stuff, so I'll leave the GoPro rolling, just to have a bit of a look just to see how it handles driving in and around town. Again, it's not that big, a little bit bigger than a car, but you got to keep in mind too that compared to the Land Cruiser, I think it's off memory, it's 600 mil longer, and it's 200 mil wider. So it's not all that big. It looks a lot bigger because it's higher and it's boxier, but in the scheme of things, it's not all that much bigger. It doesn't take a whole lot to get used to. You know, if you've never driven a truck before, it's not really a problem. As long as you're aware of your size when you're driving it, you don't get complacent over the first couple of months, yeah, you won't have any problems getting these things around. So just coming into Harrington now. As I said, a few roundabouts. We'll go for a bit of a run around them and just see how well it, or how easy it is to negotiate around these bends. One good thing about the truck is too, it's been up so high, your visibility is absolutely amazing, you know, and the mirrors on the side of these things are huge, you know. I can see more out, I can probably see just as much out and back through these mirrors as I can out through the front windscreen. It's quite the visibility in these things is unbelievable. You can see every square inch of the side of your truck, you know, so you've got no chance of ever being able to hit anything. It's got such a beautiful clear view down the sides through the mirrors. Yeah, so you can see, like, you know, you're not working up a sweat. It's not like you're driving an 18-speed Road Ranger through town or anything, you know. It's quite an easy little thing, and these things have got plenty of torque too, you know. So it's fairly forgiving if you're in the wrong gear and whatever. The truck seems to pull out of the corners fairly well. You know, you don't seem to have too much of a problem with it. So there you go. We're just going through multiple roundabouts here. Nothing to it. Anybody can do it. It's like anything. Once you get used to it, piece of cake to get them round. You know, no dramas at all. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it's any harder than anything to drive. This one is a manual, but like any manual, once you're in it and you're driving, you don't really think twice about changing up or down your gears. It just becomes second nature. I prefer manuals. We do have automatics. We got an automatic 200 series and a little Mazda thing that we got. I don't particularly like driving them. I don't know, for some reason I'd rather drive a manual, but each people with their own. Some people say, oh, you're crazy, you drive an auto, they're so much easier, all you got to do is put your foot on the accelerator and the brake. But you know, once you get used to a manual, you don't really notice the gears. You know, I've driven trucks and buses my whole life, road ranger gearboxes and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, to me it's neither here or there from what it is. But yeah, these do come out in the automatic options. The ATM automatic manuals, I think so it's like a manual box, but the computer changes the gear. But yeah, each their own. I find this is a very easy gearbox to use. I've never had a problem with finding gears or anything in it, so yeah, no dramas with the manual box. I think the automatic box, some blokes feel once they get used to it, they're a great box. I think people have got to get used to the fact that it's still a manual box, that the computer changes the gears, so you've got that delay in between the changes on the ATMs. Anyway, so here we are, as you can see, so driving through town. Yeah, even if you had one of these as your daily driver, you might want to sell your 79 series, you know, so you can get a little bit more weight in the back and, you know, increase your towing power. So you think, oh yeah, but what are they like as a daily driver? Well, no dramas at all. You saw there on the freeway, you can keep up doing 100 Ks, no problem at all. You can see going over the rough road there, it's not too bad inside. It's not like you need a kidney belt, as some people say. In the shopping centres, it does get a little bit tighter. Being that 200mm wider and that 600mm longer does make a difference, believe me. What I usually do though, I usually find a spot where there's some grass behind me and I just back up to that. That usually solves that issue, or you just park out the front on the curb. We've never been to a spot where we go, oh, we can't park. You just got to be a bit more mindful and creative about where you do park. So the good thing is though, is we're coming into town now, into Harrington, and it's fairly built up. There's people, cars and things there. The good thing about the truck is that you can see everything. I can see over the top of all the cars, you can see everywhere, so it's not like a hazard's going to sneak up out of nowhere, because you've got that ability to see over the top of cars and see the intersection. So I think you gain a whole lot more out of driving a truck than what you lose by having a small car. I'd even go as far as saying I actually don't like going in cars, because I feel they're too low to the road. I don't like looking at tyres of other cars and trucks. I like sitting up high and being able to look above everything, but that's my choice. And again, like I said before, it's like anything. The more you drive it and the more you get used to it, the easier it's going to become for you to be able to drive these things in and around town. You just got to get to know what it can do and what it can't do. That's quite beautiful out there today. There's a nice dune running. Really nice. Beaches are good. As I said, it's the first time in a while we've had some blue sky, so good to see plenty of people getting out. Yeah, so anyway, we're just about through town now, just coming past the caravan park. So what we'll do is the dirt road heading into Crowdy Bay, through up this end's usually pretty poor because it's not maintained. Not a lot of people use it. That's why I selected it. Anyway, I don't know what the road conditions are like. It may have been graded. I'm kind of hoping it's a bit rough, just so you can see just how comfortable or how uncomfortable these are on the dirt road. So anyway, we'll once we get back up there, we'll switch back on and we'll have a bit of a look, see how these things handle on the dirt. So just turned off. We're heading into the Crowdy Bay National Park from the Crowdy Bay end from Harrington. The road so far doesn't actually look too bad. It's usually fairly rough. Now today we're only going about 10k in, so I haven't aired down at all. But predominantly, you know, if you're driving on roads like this, you would air down to take some of the bounce and out of the ride. I didn't do it today only because, as I said, it's only a short drive in for one, and for two, it sort of shows you the worst case scenario of these trucks. Driving a bit slow there. Here we are as we're coming in. This is quite rough. There are potholes. I think I spoke too soon there earlier. I think it's been a while since the grade has been cleared.
Got all the firewood in the back bouncing around.
Yeah. So you got to tell you what, the old you have one of those little tub washing machines in the back, you know, where you put your clothes in the drum container. Should be certainly all washed by the time we get to where we're going. Just for sure. Well, that's smoothed out now. Well, look, so to give you an idea, some of those potholes, they were about 200mm deep, so they were quite big, deep potholes back there. You would certainly, if the whole track was going to be like that, or you're going to be doing hundreds of kilometres, you really want to be airing down on roads like this, eh? They are. And also, not only does it help your tyres, it also helps your load as well as the truck. The other objective today is all the boxes and that in the back. This may sound funny, but I want it to be as rough as it can be to simulate the worst conditions, because I want to make sure that all the building, the canopy and everything holds up, and if there's any little issues, any teething problems and stuff, we've got time to sort them out, because the corrugates in Australia are horrendous. I mean, you know, I've been on roads in the Troopy and we've been down to 5 kilometres an hour, you know, for like 100 k's, because that's just the maximum speed you can do. I'll tell you what too, to be fair to the national parks, considering all the rain we've had, these roads aren't too bad, eh? They're pretty good. Like, it hasn't stopped raining up here. You can see out the front here at the minute. I don't know how deep this water is, but you don't usually see any water on these tracks. Poke along because you don't know what's under it. So there you go. So I don't think we've ever seen water on there, have we?
No.
Not like that. Yeah. A bit like this everywhere, but you know, once you have rain, the rain always washes away the road, and you always end up with these big ruts and stuff in it. You can see through here. I don't know if I'd be bringing up a Prius or anything up here at the moment, that's for sure. Even old mate back there in his Commodore, I don't know if he got through here, if he come up here and turn around, but it's wet. I'll mix through some of the GoPros on, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll mix through some of the GoPro footage as well as what we get. Yeah, for doing a bit of a, you know, shakedown, I guess, just to see what the truck can and can't do. That this track's pretty good. But yeah, if we weren't doing the testing, I'd certainly be let the air out of the tyres. I'll give you that for sure. Pretty greasy, really, isn't it?
I was going to say, I don't know how still the camera will be.
Oh, because you're holding it, yeah.
People are going to be shaken by it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to encourage people to buy the truck. I don't think. But again, you got to remember too, like the rain we've had and the water that's laying on here, you got to expect. But I guess that's the idea too. You know, you've got to buy a you got to buy a vehicle that can take it. You know, we can take these harsh Australian conditions. For those of you that follow us, you know that we're predominantly being in the back there, something's not secure. We've been predominantly Land Cruisers is all we've really had. I won't name names, but we did change over to another brand of car. We were building the Ranger station at Weeper, and we broke them both. So you know, from that day on, we only ever stuck to the Land Cruisers until now, where we've now bought this Isuzu NPS. So anyway, haven't been able to break it yet. So we'll see how we go once we've done our lap, a couple of years, and we'll be able to bring that to you as well. You can see too that the bushfires. When the bushfires come through, 3 years ago.
No, it was before COVID.
Was it before COVID?
Yeah, it was just before it, the December before COVID.
No, look, it still hasn't recovered out here, is it?
No. So it was probably 2019.
Unbelievable, it's still up. It's just at that much. The trees just haven't grown back. Well, there you go. So the speed limit on here is 20 kilometres an hour. I don't think anyone would be doing 20 kilometres an hour on here. That many water holes on the track. I'd honestly tell you that's the first time, and we've been coming up here for probably 20 years, that's the first time I've ever seen water across the track like it is now, here today. So it sort of shows you how much rain we've had.
Okay.
Don't know what's under these, underneath the water there, so you got to take it nice and easy. Could be a big eye in there. Fairly dusty, and that's another thing that's really important too. So going over all these big bumps and stuff, you know, letting the truck twist up. It'll be interesting to see when we get to camp, just to make sure that there's no dust or anything like that's got into the boxes, and it's all holding up quite well. That's another thing that's fairly important. You don't want it to get, I mean, you've got to expect a little bit of dust. So Ellie's old mate, his caravan, so I'm punting he'd come in through Lauren today. I wouldn't imagine he would have come up there. But the Coromel, they don't seem to be too bad at the van. This is what are you going to stop there in the middle of the road there, big fella? Yep. Alright mate, we'll swing around mate. I'll put her into the ditch for you buddy. So just here now in the Crowley Bay, we'll run in, we'll grab some firewood, just check in, let them know that we're here. Then we'll head over back to where we was, just a couple of K down the road, which is Kylie's Beach, which is where we'll be spending the night. Oh Jesus, full up here.
There's some little kangaroos over there.
Oh, Skippy. Oh, there is too. Yeah, it really is a beautiful spot, eh? Oh. Yeah, so yesterday you saw us come in on the dirt roads. I forgot all about it, but what I'll do is I'll just show you inside the canopy, so you can see just how much or what little dust come in. Well, actually, there was no dust really, not little, but absolutely no dust coming to that one. And we've also driven out this morning as well. So when we were driving out this morning, you know, we had cars in front of us, so there was dust and that everywhere. You can see that being black. There's not even a film of dust on anything. So these ATW boxes are pretty good for being dust tight. Anyway, let's go around the other side and we'll have a bit of a look. There you go. So in the back there's well, that's the microwave. You can see that there's absolutely no dust on anything there. Have a look again at this one. There again, they gloss black fridge doors. Got plenty of handprints and that from when we were in getting the drinks out last night. But yeah, look, no dust on any of it. So really happy with how these these boxes have actually held up and kept the dust out. No dramas at all. So there you have it guys, over the last couple of days we've taken the truck over, we've taken it on the highway, we've taken it on the back streets, we've taken it on 100 km/h roads with single lane and on dirt corrugated roads. So we get asked a lot of questions about, do you need a kidney belt to drive these trucks? Well, the answer is no, you don't. I think they're fairly comfortable to drive, considering it is a truck with the ATW parabolic springs in it and the suspension seat. It does make a big difference compared to what it would without it. It makes these things a lot more drivable. On the highway, as you can see, yes, they do 100 km/h without any problems. Yes, you have plenty of power to overtake. No dramas at all. And on the real steep hills, as you'd expect, yes, it does drop down a little bit, but you've got to keep in mind this fella's at 6.5 tonne as well, so you've got to expect that. And when we got the van on the back, we're at nearly 11 tonne, so it is a fair bit of weight to be hauling up a hill in any man's book. So there you go. I hope that's cleared up a few things and helps people out when making their decision whether or not to buy one. And you know, you can see for yourself in the videos just how comfortable, or maybe you might think it's uncomfortable, but the ride really is. But look, we're really happy with it, and we do feel that what we gain far outweighs what we lose. No, it's not as comfortable as a 200 series, but hey, you can't put 7.5 tonne on a 200 series either, can you? You know, and you can't tow your 3.5 tonne, 4.5 tonne caravan behind it. So you've got to look at it like that. And also the ground clearance and the size of the wheels on these things, it also helps it push through that rough terrain as well. So look, we're more than happy with it, and no, I won't be going back to a Land Cruiser anytime soon. Anyway guys, until next time, it's Jono and Ian from J&A Down Under.